Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect. Today's beverage is a very nice rooibos or red bush tea. So welcome back to the game, and previously we were filling up to capacity with the addition of some extra cell blocks and also working on this, which is going to be, well, it's going to pull double duty as a ex-gang member facility as well as somewhere where we can have snitches and ex-law enforcement, that sort of thing. Anyone that could potentially be targeted. It's still up in the air whether or not it's going to work or not, because having in apparently ex-gang members with certain traits mixing with snitches might also be a bit of an issue, and also having the whole, well, they have to go through certain reform programs in order to do that, but then it might be after that, but before they've fully severed ties with the gang, you need to do tattoo removal, which we haven't got. I don't know whether to put it in here and breathe. Let's just see how we get on. So, as we can see, we are building over here. We have some extreme weather detected. It's going to get a bit stormy. Currently is spring with rain, and you can see we are putting in all of the pipe work in here. I'm just going to go over to this area and parole and then move this up like so and prioritize that because as Peter pointed out, we didn't manage to get the radiator in because of that, because of that error there. And also, there's been a couple of people suggesting, rightly so, why don't we start to segregate the gang members? If we go over to our intelligence and gangs, you can see that we have 15 members of the Vipers, 8 members of the Bonebreakers, and then finally 4 members of the Jackals. No officers for each of those, so no big plays are going to be made. However, what you can do is go to deployment and to gang segregation and say, for example, all of the Vipers now go in here, and then all of the Bonebreakers now go in there, and you can basically change things up. Now, the reason I'm not going to do that and remove it there, 1 second, there we go, is because although I would like to set that up so we do have the 3 gang members, there's a little bit of an issue with this gang segregation, and it's not easy to spot from the very beginning. So you can go for Vipers and Bonebreakers in here, and then say Jackals just in here. So it's basically like the custom sector. However, this is choose which gangs are usually, it does specify usually, permitted to enter certain areas, but this is for gangs and it will kick out non-gang members. So you can set things to Vipers, Bonebreakers, Jackals, or ex-gang members. So you could say ex-gang members go there. That would be fine. However, if I'll do it and you'll see what happens. So we'll do something like that. And that's ideally how you'd want it set up. And now what's going to happen is the game is going to have a bit of a meltdown because anyone that is not in a gang now doesn't have anywhere to be because it's not gang members. It's not that specific gang member and other non-gang members, it's just that gang member. And I have tried a combination of things like then changing this also to max sec, like so, and going about it, and, well, it doesn't work. So someone smarter than me will probably be able to figure it out, but yeah, it just goes south very, very quickly. But I just wanted to demonstrate it just for the sake of completeness on why we're not running it like this permanently. We'll see how it goes on. What I am going to do is go for tool cleanup because that is an extra grant, and then I'm going to go to shake down all sectors, and we need to remove the supply of stolen tools and weapons. 681 places to search, so let's see if we can do that. We probably do need to hire some more staff because, well, I've been meaning to for a long time. Let me go ahead and go like that. I don't want to hire too many janitors and gardeners. I don't think we need much more than that, but the laundry certainly was being a bit of a problem. And there you go. So you can already see 1 member unable to be assigned to a cell, and that's only going to get worse. It'll get worse and worse. There's 2, and then it's just going to keep going up. So hopefully you can see now the issue, because basically this guy this is Connor. Sticky keys, Boyd. They are not in a gang. If we go over to our intelligence and then gangs, you can see they're not in a gang and they need to be moved over. You can see most of this is sort of worked. So we set the original one to be the Vipers, and then this to be the Bonebreakers, and this to be the Jackals. And it is moving people around. The game will do that, but eventually it'll just break because then there's a lot of inmates that are not tied to a gang, and there you go. Look, so it's just getting worse and worse. We're now on to 5 inmates and it'll be assigned to a cell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the game move these inmates around as best they can, which it is doing its best. We have to give it its due there, because you can see most of them are going over here. They're correct. Down here, in fact, as far as I can tell, Most of them have moved about, apart from there's 8 members of the Jackals, but only 1, 2, 3, 4 signed here. So I don't know what's happening with the rest of them. Either way, now it says 8 prisoners are unable to be assigned to a cell. So it's moved people around as best it can. However, as I said, I'm going to remove all of this, but then I will change that back to protective custody, and then these back to the highest sec, because we still have the whole thing going on there, and that should do for now. Let's unpause it, and we've also got some rats in the prison, which means, well, this is another point of what is going on here. Killed by an armed guard with a shotgun, apparently. This is Duncan Underwood, and also Felix, who's unconscious as well. Okay, they could be riled up because of me searching, although I've searched all of the locations in the facility and still not removed the supply of stolen tools and weapons, so I'm going to have to sort that one out. Yeah, so we do have some rats here, and there are ways to fix it, and we have to have some traps, rat traps. So yeah, we've placed these around, and you've also got the sonic emitters as well. Yeah, sonic rat deterrents and such, and we had one in here. Basically, oh, in fact, it's in there, but it's apparently not powered up. Basically, as far as I can tell, and this is going off what people have been saying, is that the whole situation with rats, you might as well just call in the air pest control every couple of months in game, and let them deal with it, and then you often get some grant payment for it, as opposed to having to spam rat traps and deterrents and do all the training. Like, it just logistically and financially, it's just not worth it. I don't know if that's true. It's just what I've been reading, and oh, it looks like that Brant Rain murdered by prisoner. Okay, and they were doing gang rehabilitation. Volatile gang member, green thumb recruiter, battle tendency, and sneak thief. And it looks like James Donny is probably the perpetrator. Attacked prisoner, murder, attacked staff, found weapons. Extremely deadly stalker and green thumb. So, because this guy has been doing gang rehabilitation with a very low success chance, apparently, is that why they've been targeted? That's curious. Because this guy here isn't a gang member. Are they not? No. So what? Unless they're undercover. No, doesn't look to be. That is very curious. Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye on that one. So, we have still got to do this over here, so we're going to continue on building. As I said, we've still got the pest control working, so that's all fine. Staffing wise, I can probably afford some more staff. Let's go that. Let's go maybe 2 more dog handlers, and in the armory, I think I want to look at maybe extending the armory like so and like so. That should prove okay for now. And then we'll go back over here. In fact, you know what I will do over here? So the plumbing should be in, but we're going to double check water, and we're still in spring, so it can get cold. So I will go with some water boiler insulation. Actually, have I put in the full? No, I haven't put on the full water pump insulation, which is an expensive thing to do. You can see one prisoner unable to be assigned to the cell. It'll hopefully fix itself in but a moment, but we shall see, although it might be to do with the intake. Oh, that's probably what's happened. Yes, maximum security is 68 and maximum capacity is 54. There's your problem. There's your problem. Intake when it comes to the boat. So I'm going to have to build a holding cell, I think. Okay. We have room to take in more prisoners. No, we really don't. I'm going to go to intake and close that for now, because otherwise it'll probably glitch out. And let's go for a holding cell. So this was always going to be a holding cell. I've just never really needed a priority for it, because when we started, we wanted to move people back into cells straight away because of temperature and such, but it's only 1 degree, so I'll have to still get some water in here. In fact, I will put a radiator in there. I don't know if it's going to reach, but I'll do my best. So there's a hot water pipe that runs down like so, and this is a holding cell. So minimum size of 5 by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, toilet and sink and benches. So we'll do all of that. So we do have a bench. I could probably put a bench either side if I really wanted to, although I think I'm just going to put a bench in, say, there. And then we need a toilet and sink, which I'm going to put a couple on that side. And then I'm also going to put in some bunk beds like so. And that should suffice. Actually, I'm going to go with maybe some shower heads as well. Let's just put the toilets on there. So it's going to be very, very cramped. It's going to be very, yeah, very poor in terms of the sizing and spacing and everything. But hopefully it will be it'll at least be functional, and that's all we can really hope for. And once again, dead, killed by an armed guard with a shotgun. Have they been fighting this gang member? I'm not sure. Trying to find out. Attacked prisoner. Then this guy's the one that's been taken out. How curious. How are the rats cleanup doing? Appears to be all right. It doesn't say there's any on site, and in fact the guys have disappeared as well. So they've finished that. Okay. This is our storm here that's been brewing for a while. Current weather is weak storm. It's then going to get to sunny, and the temperature's going to start to go up. So that's all good. As I said, need to remove the supply of stolen tools and weapons. So we'll see about that one. I'm just going to dismiss that prisoner, that boat, because frankly it takes an age. So yeah, as I said, just keeping an eye on things like our intake and such, because we've overdone it a bit. Currently holding 67 prisoners, 67 maximum security, although maximum safe capacity is 54. That's safe, but we have got obviously people in here now, so that's all right. Let me just run a bit of electrical cable in there to actually light the thing up, and once again more fighting. Gym rat, Simon Morgan. Bone breakers will spend their free time periods in a gym or in a yard. Is this another gang issue? Oh yeah, look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and aha, we have an issue. So we have from the Vipers 2 gang officers, which means someone's a leader and then someone's been recruited as the second. That's the second there. So I think it's Curtis. Simon Curtis. Yeah. Undercover Don. The Viper's leader will be hidden as a gang soldier, only being revealed when punished. As a soldier, not as what they currently are. Undercover Don. So any one of these guys can be the leader. Which means they're going to be recruiting quite a bit. Okay. So, that is a problem. What is the solution? What is the best solution? Well, these guys are being punished, so we can rule those out. It could be any one of these. So I'm going to give them a lockdown of 6 hours. Lockdown of 6 hours. Unpause it just to let the game see what's happening there. No. Okay. So, this is going to be what we're doing then. We're going to go through, and I'm going to see where this gang leader is. Now, we've got 4, and then a gap, and then the rest of it. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4. Unpause it. Danger level is now flying up. 2 gang members are furious. Leader being punished. We have found the leader. There they are. Eddie Garcia. Eddie Regal Garcia. They've got 10 years. Sentence for torture. Legendary prisoner. I mean, I should have checked that probably first. Wow. Look at that. Alright. Well, you are now Supermax there, and I will tell you to be escorted there. And also, potential CI. We don't often get that. Recruit informant. And then we can do guard investigation, if there was a place to actually investigate them. So there we go. That's now meant that the leader is off. But it doesn't mean that we're out of the woods on this one, because I believe then the second in command can still issue orders. So what am I going to do about that? There might be a solution, but I don't know if it's been thought of in terms of security. Curtis. Remove prisoner, 5 grand, they're gone. So you can pay 5 grand every 5 days to remove an inmate. And I don't know why that bit there is not correct. Common room. There we go. And over there as well. How strange. So yeah, they're now sorted. Also, that CCTV camera is not being looked at. I will do a full shakedown. I don't think it's going to do anything. However, we'll see, because I need to remove the supply of stolen tools and weapons. I'll see what I can do. Also going to look at our programs here. Mainly gang rehabilitation. Loads in the queue, 16 in the queue, and loads are starting to attend, but obviously none have passed. It's what happens when they end up passing, and Tim Marples is fighting there. I don't know how they even got there, but whatever. We will continue on with the... Well, for a start, water. Why is water not got there? Can it not get that far? I don't think it can. The hot water can, obviously. But the small pipe, not so much. So what I'm going to do is... Oh, I'm going to have to sell that. And then reconnect the hot water. And then the cold water can do that. Then the installation can go in. Hang on, look at that. It's not getting past there either. How curious the rest is, though. Why is that? It's the same distance, right? No, it's not, because it's got this. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And another death. Killed by armed guard with a shotgun. Strong, foodie, and green thumb. This is another one of the points of contention with free fire. Do you let the inmates just kick off and will it cause more damage in the long run? Or do you keep free fire on? Yeah. Speaking of that, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4 more armed guards. Let's go to staff programs. We've got lots of training on the way. I think that'll do for now. Let's do a bit of cold training as well. So do a bit of more guard taser certification, stuff like that. So I'm going to stop that shakedown because that's not going to go anywhere in this in the day because it's just too much of a hassle. Food-wise, food is being cooked up, and I don't know if they're meeting the needs. There is some need. It's medium. Once again, maybe more staff, but I'm very aware that I'm massively overstaffing this. But better than understaffing it like I've been doing for a while. Scott Wilson, volatile. Once again, armed guard with a shotgun. Found weapons, found tools, attack staff, destruction. Let me guess. I bet it's bone breakers. Bone breakers. Yeah, there's still only one gang officer for the Vipers. But they're definitely the most numerous now in terms of gang affiliation. Bone breakers, sorry, Vipers, then bone breakers, then jackals. And, oh, wow. Okay. There's a lot of people in solitary. I may have to change the solitary policy. No, there's still some room there. I might get away with it. This is all now okay by the look of it. Right. Insulation for hot water pipes. I mean, it's spring. But I just want to get it fixed up before I neglect it. Like so. There we are. I don't know if it goes all the way at the end still or not. Does it go all the way at the end of the water? I think the end one might be. Oh no, it doesn't say they're out of water, so that's fine. Danger level flying down, which is always good. Like I say, still doing tool cleanup, cell block C, and then the ex-gang member. Assign one ex-gang member to protective custody. Foreman's calling. Due to logistic error, receiving extra supplies. I don't know what those are, but we shall see. Lots of pipes coming in here. That's all good. See them all building in here as well. So we need to obviously fill stuff up in here. And we'll do that now. So we want in prayer mats at the bottom of the beds. It's basically copying what's over here. These obviously are a little bit larger because the inmates that will eventually go in this cell block will not have access to the main part of the facility. So yeah, that's why we're doing this. Okay. But we still got these rooms up here, rooms down here. I probably want to put a shop in at some point too. That would probably benefit us. But my main concern is this again, daily cash flow. It's trying to find that balance of the amount of inmates that we have, plus and minus, good grief, plus and minus our losses for staff recruitment, re-recruitment and training, etc. I'm going to go back to intake here and fill capacity, which will say 0 because this area is now correctly set to protective custody. This is now shared, which is all good. All this here, that's going to be staff only as well. That's not staff only. No, it's staff only. There you go. The rest of it's all good. Around here, that can be changed. That one can be changed. That's protective. All these are correct. That's good as well. Okay. And there's some more fighting around here. I think I'm going to have to put in some more patrols around the outside. I'm not a big fan of putting in patrols necessarily in outside, because obviously if we have people on that, there could be issues when it gets cold. But yeah, we're going to assign people, as you can see. I'll assign just normal guards actually on the corners there. That'll be better. Yeah. Just double check the yard. So 2 yards, which is not in the centre. It's around the outside, just the way the game displays the name. You can see it's just highlighted around here and around here. But it puts that because it's on the sort of bounding box of this. But I think that's been covered. So let's check out the programs. Gang rehabilitation. There's going to be a couple of people that have almost finished that. That'll be good. And then it means obviously they need somewhere to eat. I think one of these can be a canteen. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So let's go with it in here. So I think a canteen can go into this area. And a canteen for that would be, well, a serving table up there. And then a table and a table. And then benches either side. And that can have all 16 inmates in here. So it is cramped, but it is acceptable. It's a realistic size, I would argue. But there we go. You see the workers are still being tasked with installing all this pipe work and all the other stuff. Doesn't matter how many workers I get, I'll never have enough. And I still like, you know, actually having some money, so I don't want to overstaff it, and we'll take our time. We are going to do another full shakedown on this one, and hopefully that'll give us the tool cleanup done. Let's have a quick look at the, say, here. There is a supply of weapons and tools, a little bit of narcotics and some luxuries. There's also been another fatality, which is... Oh! The doggo has been killed by Garcia. Okay. I mean, I don't know what else you can do other than just station armed guards back and forward. Obviously, we've already had one person leave because of certain events like that, or other gang member. Remove the supply of stolen tools and weapons. There's a tunnel there. That's the first one in a while that I thought could be legitimate, but it's off to one side, so that wouldn't be. But hey-ho. Shakedown is still underway, and we're not even removing the supply of stolen tools and weapons. The problem we have is that stuff can always be thrown in. Like, at any time, stuff can be thrown in over the walls. Just gonna double check. No, there's all stuff that's been found. Lots of stuff that's been found, but... Still haven't removed the supply of stuff. I'm going to keep doing the shakedown. Okay, I'll probably not do the shakedown. Okay, right, underway. 10 deaths. 12 deaths. I think I'm going to have to call in some elite ops on this one. Only 4 more writing. Looks like the armed guards are stopping it. But that could be a failure state, that one. And what has caused that? Well, obviously, an abundance of gangs and fighting. Starting to think, really, the only solution is to put individual canteens in each of these areas and have them just eat in there. The other option, there's many options actually, but another option is to have the regime separated. So you have minimum, medium, and maximum, and we'll change the guys up based on their gang affiliation to that, and then have this all different in terms of the regime. That's a huge amount of work, not just to set up, but also long term to manage, because every time you get an intake, you have to then sort that out too. One gang member's furious because the leader being punished. It'll be this member over here. Let me just end the punishment then. And that's stopped. Staff morale is high, apparently. I don't know why, but whatever it is. But we could have a failure state on our hands, and we've just been... Oh, we're now on minus 8 grand. And the chief's calling. The chief. This prisoner is acting out. They seem to have reached their boiling point. Perhaps we aren't doing enough for our prisoners. Make sure their needs are being met. They need some sleep. And the changing clothes. I thought it was this guy. Needs seem to be fine. There's a bit of clothing need, but it only goes to high. It never goes to critical. And there's loads of uniforms to go. So, is it once again that the janitors have just got so much to clean that they're not able to sort that out? Yeah, look at that. Lots of prisoners unnecessarily searched recently. Negative. I mean, it's their opinion. I'm trying to find the stolen tools and weapons. It's not happening though. Let's just dismiss that visitor board, because otherwise it's just going to be a bit of a nightmare, because it just gets locked in. We have got a couple of storms coming up, although we've had a couple of perfect storms, haven't we? Well, while the danger level is maxed out, I'm just going to run another shakedown again, because, you know what, it can't be any worse, surely. Oh no, wait, no, there's now 733 places to search. Alright, let me just hire back up to what we should have. Which I think is that. So we are removing more tools and weapons. I have a feeling that we're just going to have to constantly keep searching. And maybe even hire more guards because of it, but I don't think that's going to help. Another option as well is if we put in a scanner. If we bring in a scanner, oh, there's severe weather detected. Oh yeah, we're gonna go to thunderstorms now. So there's a full shakedown finished. Any second. There's another fight over here. There's the shakedown done. I'm going to run another one. Because I'm desperate to try and get that tool cleanup sorted. But I do think it's a bit of a... yeah, bit of a false start. Oh! We removed stolen tools. Just weapons now. Well, with a bit of luck, we'll get it done. And I think it will be more luck than anything else. Nothing can be taken because everybody's asleep. And everyone can, I'll just say, bang up and just stay in their cells for now while I do this. This is a drastic measure. And this is going to come back to bite me, I'm very well aware. That's not something you see often. Free fire, shakedown and bang up all on the go. And there you go, look. Tool cleanup. Remove the supply of stolen tools is now changed. And it was about when we got that delivery as well. Well. There's some more intake as well. Well, there's not much I can do about this one. I'm going to have to keep running it. We're going to leave it there for now. That has been a bit of Prison Architect. We have... yeah. We're still on gang rehabilitation. Hopefully we'll get it done, some of them next episode. Got parole hearing on the go. Spiritual guidance is on the go. Faith program running. Only one person passed. 10% pass rate. Exceptionally poor. Yeah. It is what it is. We have now a lot less gang members and a lot less money. But every cloud and all that. At least the area here for the protective only, the ex-gang member protection program is getting worked on. Assign a guard to a protected only sector. Yeah. Build a canteen in a protected only sector. I'm pretty sure I had that, but whatever. There we go. So I need things like a shower room and other things. I'm just trying to get this done. We'll have a look at this one in the next episode and obviously try to remove stolen tools. But we'll see how we go. In fact, I think also I might go ahead and I think we'll build ourselves a shop. I think we're going to have a look at a shop. Yeah, change the pace a little bit. Let's see how we get on. As always, let me know what you think in the comments and we'll go from there. The place also might burn down because of the massive thunderstorm and lightning strikes. Either way, hope you have enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. Comments in the comments, take care, and generic partings.